along with me. It is very risky. I am down a lot of money. I'm okay with it. I am down a lot of money. I'm okay with it. I am down a lot of money. I'm going to tell you something. I've started a position in 3M stock.
I think that's the only clown nose I've used so far, but it was perfect. So,
wasn't that the guy that was sponsored by Alibaba?
yeah, if it was. Oh,
yeah.
So who did that? The Fufu diss track, was it the same guy that won number 2 in the contest?
You know, now that I think about it, I think it was because like when the guy emailed it to me, it's not his email doesn't have a name on it, like a person's name. It's like something. So, but now that I think about it, it might have actually been him.
That was good.
The he's talented. Like he's like top tier designer or like video editor.
Like I can't even understand how he did that. I'm like, it's way beyond me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could do is like, you know, PP thumbnails and like horrible free editing software. That's basically the extent of my knowledge.
I know. It's like, what they say? Technology, like you get to a point where it's like frozen almost. Like you get to a certain development level, and that's it. And you just live
yeah,
there.
I don't even try to edit because like I just don't have time. I mean, I really just don't have time. If I sat there and edit, I don't be able to put out like one video a week.
What I sent you took me like 45 minutes or an hour. Like I was rushing as fast as I could when I had time. But so how's it going? Good?
Crushing good. I'm sitting on my couch.
Your 70s couch.
Probably hanging out with Chad T.
Mm-hmm.
You're upstairs sleeping.
Yeah, mine just went down to sleep too. A bunch of boomers here talking with their family's sleeping.
So. I know. I'm on the casting couch right now.
So where should we start? With Paul? I don't know. Man, this last month has been quite a good, like the breakdown of Meet Kevin, the complete collapse.
You know, I always get worried. I'm like, man, what if I run out of video ideas? And then something always happens. Something always happens.
Mm-hmm.
And
for people that know, like, I've said before, like I found Strongman because of my hatred of Meet Kevin when I watched him just go down the stock analysis fucking hole that he went down. And then he deleted all the video. They're all gone. All his stock analysis videos. So
of course. I mean, he's racing his bad past so he can sell more courses. And you know, he's gonna do it again eventually, like in 2 or 3 years when Bitcoin goes to crap or Tesla goes to crap, he's gonna do the exact same thing.
So I'm out of his Discord now. I don't know. Somehow I got booted out of it today. So I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's because I put clown emojis on everything he posted. So
no, you're getting big now. They know who you are. I mean, if you talk trash about Kevin, he'll find you on YouTube.
Like if there's something new, I'd rather trash other, like if there's something to talk about with him. But Jesus Christ. I mean, the dude's just falling apart. I mean, he knows he's a crook, right? Like it's eating away at him inside. You could see it. Like he's breaking down the lies. And then he's probably like what is it, $1 million on the jet, and just crazy. Like
$1.3 million. I mean, I watched his video briefly, so maybe I'm misquoting, but I remember seeing over $1 million of expenses and no income. And that was just for 10 months.
Jesus.
That's a lot, dude. That's like, it doesn't matter how rich you are. There's no reason to do that. That's ridiculous. You're not obligated to spend more money if you make more money. It's such a terrible, like, thought process that people go through. It makes no sense.
Like what I could find research wise, it's like people, what he's trying to do with House Hack can work on a regional or city level, right? Where you have an experience, you have experience and knowledge of the market. But like nationally, you can't make that. Doesn't work nationally. What he's trying to do, I just can't imagine it's going to work. Like flipping houses for $100,000 profit with $1.5 million jet. like obligation.
Your best point that you ever made was he has so much other stuff going on. He can't do anything good. He's doing YouTube videos. He's doing house hack. He's doing financial advising. He's got all these different little things he has going on. How is he going to succeed or do very well at any one of them? He's not.
Like, I was kind of surprised when he's literally like the only employee of all these businesses. And I didn't even know he was the day-to-day I thought he just gave his name to PP. But he's literally it's the day-to-day guy. So it's like someone's going to sue him because they're going to be like, you're saying you're the full-time employee of this business I put money in, and you've got 10 jobs plus the YouTube channel.
Like, look, if you're dumb enough to buy PP, you're dumb enough. You shouldn't be allowed to sue.
No, he ain't making much on it, dude. Like, he's probably pulling in. I looked the expense rate. He's getting like, was it 0.02% expense fee per year, I think. So he's pulling in like 10 grand maybe on PP at the most.
Yeah, and even if he more, I mean, I think he said he spent $2 million to get that ETF.
Oh my
God.
Rolling.
I mean, maybe I don't know the exact number, but he definitely spent an arm and a leg just to get the ETF listed on the exchange. So, break-even point is going to be decades.
I mean, that was his vanity project, I suppose, right? Get the video, hitting the bell, putting the poster up on Wall Street, all that stuff.
Like it's almost like he's trying to model himself after, other famous people who have made their way through Wall Street. But like the way he's doing it is just clownish,
But now, like, you and Echoes are literally like the archive of his clownery. Because I was trying to find other video, like if I could find people that like reviewed his videos to capture it, and like it's pretty much you and Echoes. They got most of it in your videos covering him.
Definitely, and that's why I try to never delete videos. And it's always good to download people's videos. You always have, especially if they're a scammer, you have to download the videos. But I get lazy a lot and I don't do it. And then stuff like this happens where he hides all his videos and now they're gone forever.
I know. Fucking shame. Well, like, you don't want to be a grifter. Like, you tried to change, but it's like these people, they never go away. And you have to keep reminding new people because they say, I see like some of the comments on your channel. It's like, how do these people not know how degenerate me Kevin is? It's like, you have to keep.
That's why
there is a reason you have to keep posting these videos. Like, people forget so fast. But
well, it's also fun to do. Like, a couple months ago, I just needed a break from it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, I just felt like making fun of me, Kevin, because I really was kind of annoyed by what he did. So I've been, taking a dump on him recently, but I have no expectations that I'm going to slay him. Like, nothing happened to him because of my videos. But, sometimes when I just want to do a video, I'll just do it.
I think he's trying to make, he's like, his channel was dead. So he's trying to reinvent it. There's no speculation that he's getting sued why he put the videos down, but I think he's trying to reinvent himself. It's my opinion. And he needs money. He needs a lot of money, and he needs to make it as fast as he can. All these channels, video. Now he's popping videos again. It's like he's created this money sinking black hole with all these companies that I could find how much money I could I reasonably calculated what they were generating. I mean, it's like the dude has created like what a terrible, stressful situation.
Yeah, I just don't get why everybody a lot of people that get rich, they keep like digging themselves back into holes. It's like, why don't you just make a ton of money and then just invest it all for a couple of years instead of buying more expenses? I just don't want
that $40 million video you have that he did about his portfolio. Like, so at least half of that was his, I would assume. Maybe say half it with margin, let's say, but he could have just secured the bag with $20 million. Like, could just,
dude, it's so simple. Like, people when they get rich, I guess they think they have to be sophisticated when they're rich. And when you're rich, you have to buy like invest in hedge funds and invest in private equity and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, you can do the same thing that normal people do and probably still do better. Like Graham Stephan.
Mm-hmm.
Most money's probably in index funds.
He's going to be Yep.
Rich as
So you mentioned this kind of segues in sophisticated trader. Like, what is it? Like, it's not even just Paul. What is it about these entire like these people that want to be smart? They want to be smart, but they sell contracts. Like they won't buy them. And he's like snotty about it. In his videos, he's like, "Oh, I don't buy contracts, I sell them." And we've seen other degenerate people online where they're like, it's like they're better than you because they're the casino, not the gambler or something. I don't know, but it's
I just
something
think
to hold.
the game to them. It's not serious. Whereas to somebody like me and you, like we're average, like middle class, we can't just F around with our money and lose it all doing stupid crap. We actually have to put the majority into good long-term investments. Paul, he's so wealthy, it doesn't matter. He could lose $1 million, on a clown stock and it doesn't matter. It's for fun.
I know. Like I don't know how people follow him. Like unless you're another rich entitled prick like him, I guess then you could follow him. But I mean, if you're trying to find investment ideas, I don't know how else to explain. Like investing like him with that software tool, you'll never outperform the market. You'll never.
It's off the deep end. Like the channel used to be pretty. Like they had Seth, they at least had some reasonable takes back in the day, and then now it's just it's a joke. It's like every video. I was watching a video recently, like how to beat the market in the long run, and it's basically just
buy the Voo. Yeah, the QQQ Voo one. It's like, or you could just buy Voo
when I have time. It's just there's so much garbage that just comes out of that channel now, and in the editing, whoever their editor is, I've been saying this, they need to fire the editor. He's so bad. Like every if you listen to what Paul's saying and you see what's flashing, there's so many incongruencies. Like it almost never matches what Paul's saying. It's hilarious. It's almost like a troll.
Paul and Mo are on separate cameras. That way, like they could cut Mo when he says stupid shit, maybe. Because they're never on camera together. It's Paul be like, "What do you think, Mo?" And then it's like edit. And then Mo's like, "What? Yeah."
But honestly, like I'm glad they're bigger because it's just they're so clownish. It's almost as fun as making fun of Jeremy. Almost.
So you can watch anywhere. Like you probably watch people, but like I have some videos on Paul shorting Nvidia. Strongman did too. We kind of just I covered more of the details of how stupid it is to short Nvidia or short call. I'm sorry, short call. But like I couldn't I tried to hunt for my first video I did, I was just trying to project what he did because I didn't know. And then like literally the night of, I asked him in a live stream and figured out it was short calls. So then I pulled this chart. I'm like, this is the dumbest this is the stupidest thing of all retarded things you could do. Like there's like unlimited losses. The premium is all you get when you do these naked short or naked calls that he's doing. I couldn't believe how bad and he could end this. He could just buy the shares in Nvidia to end the bleeding. But like he said, he's going down with the ship with his family's money. So
yeah,
that killed me and Chris were messaging. We're like, the family's fucking money. I can't even imagine shorting a company with my parents' money. Like
I invest my wife's money, and like I wouldn't even think for a second to do anything other than VT or like VTI or whatever. I would never screw around options. It's somebody who I have the fiduciary duty basically to manage. Now, if it's my account, maybe. But if it's like my children's or my wife's or my parents', that's crazy that you would do that.
Yeah. I mean, you have to assume his dad's a doctor, so he probably doesn't care. He doesn't probably pay attention to this. He's being a doctor. So I'd imagine he just trusts his son who's just gambling his family money away. And again, people like, if you want to argue that there's a good use of short calls, which I saw 2 comments when I posted a video, look at this chart and tell me how this is smart at all. Like premium, limited, loss, unlimited. Like in what world does this make sense to do this in any stock? I can't even believe it.
Premium, bro.
I know. It's always about the book of premium. It's fucking. Here's another, lovely chart of it. Unlimited losses. Your limited profits. What are you doing?
I know the basics of call options because I had to learn them as when I was a financial advisor, like just studying for the Series 7. Basically, if you're selling a call or put contract, it's way more risky than buying one. Because when you buy one, I mean, the worst case, you just lose the premium that you paid. Whereas
Yeah.
selling a contract, you can be assigned, and that could cost you a lot more money.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure out exactly why he was getting margin called because it wasn't clicking in my head till someone said short call. And I'm like, I'm in Discord. I'm like, what is short call? And then all of a sudden someone said naked calls. And I'm like, got it. Like I never, I need someone to connect that dot. Now I get it. Like, I don't know all the damn terms. I know what naked calls are. So I never heard the term short call till this. Only he would fucking do this. But like I've done shorting stocks and I've done puts. I couldn't even imagine doing this. Like, but I do it in like a side account, like my side gambling account. It's not my family's money, not my wife's retirement or anything like that. Like,
yeah, this crap belongs in Robinhood, basically.
yeah, I don't have any problem with that. Or like if someone like have your main retirement account in Fidelity, Schwab, what M1, and then you have your gambling account in like Webull or Robinhood. If you're responsible, I mean, because you're an adult, people like you can gamble on sports too. So as long as you keep it controlled, I think.
Put a 5% and don't expose yourself to unlimited losses. Like it's pretty simple. If you want to buy options and screw around, okay.
The part
But
like
don't
my speculation account, like it's in Cashel because like I think people have this. They think that there's always opportunities in the market when they watch like Jeremy Lefebvre. It's like no, I might go 2-3 months. My spec account's just cash because I don't see anything, and then an opportunity hits like Disney for me. Like I was cash for like a month and a half before that, and then Disney hit. I got in where I wanted. I'm up like 17% on it, but I can get out of it now. These guys that think there's always opportunities in the market every day that you can just have a portfolio of individual stocks and then just keep moving it around and make money. Like it's really, really freaking hard. It's really hard. That's why I went to dividends back in like 2010 because I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to buy good companies and hold them long term.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I've been indexed forever, and just thinking like when I was in the Army, how would I have had time to manage a stock portfolio? Like, I'd be in the desert. They sent me to the desert for a month to like NTC. There's no way in hell I could manage my portfolio.
I had a guy in Afghanistan day trading because he fell asleep driving on a convoy and hit somebody, like bumped into the Humvee. So then I'm like, so I start talking to his soldiers in the barracks. I'm like, what is going on with him? Like, I could tell he was like tired. I'm like, I'm worried he's like depressed. They're like, no, he's up in the middle of the night to trade on the markets with the time difference.
He's risking his life to do.
God. Yeah, he's risking his life and the money he's earning at the same time. I'm like, put it in the effing bank and do this when you get home. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah,
like some New York City kid.
Or put it in your thrift savings plan. That's what I did, and yeah, I didn't have to think about it.
I know, freaking guy. So, well, I'm sure there'll be more Paul videos coming. I don't know. He banned me from. I can't comment now on his YouTube. Let's make fun of him getting margin call. I'm like banned from all of it now, so I can just make videos, I guess. But yeah, I know Paul banned you.
I don't think anybody allows me to comment anymore, except for like people that I hang out with.
Oh, sorry. So, I guess, yeah, well, I will keep on. I'm not going to do a ton more. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait till Paul does something stupid. I haven't seen. I guess that Voo thing was pretty. Voo QQ.
Look, they always like when you think they're not going to do something stupid, they do something else. Like my jaw hit the floor when I saw that video. How to beat the market with 2 ETFs. I was like, I know this is going to be a stupid video, and I was correct. Stupid, and I will. There's
always an edge, right? There's an edge to be had, of course. Like
just buy QQQ, bro. It's easy. That's it. Just buy it, bro. It's like, okay, yeah, it's that easy.
So I was gonna, I one of the topics I thought this was kind of interesting because we both have 529s for our kids, different states though for people watching. But I just noticed they have target enrollment. This is weird. I didn't know this. This is new. It's supposed to be new this year. So they have target enrollment funds now for the 529s. So it's like the age target date retirement funds. I'm like, the fuck? I think it's kind of trippy. I don't know. Did you see when these came in, or are they in Virginia?
I think they do have those here in Virginia. And, when you messaged me about it earlier, I was just thinking a little bit about it. It probably is the best way for most people. And honestly, I'll probably slide into one of those as it gets closer, because if your kids are going to college, you probably want the vast majority of the money in like short-term treasuries or cash within a few years out of college.
Yeah.
Because if the market tanks and your kid's 16, all that saving is basically for nothing. It's for a very specific time period.
I know.
And
it's kind of interesting just to see it in this chart for people, so you can see as you get further out, it's more U.S. stocks, and then as you get closer to the enrollment date, it starts trickling down more into bonds. So it's kind of interesting.
You got what bonds you're buying too, because bonds can go down.
Yep.
You basically just want to convert it to cash.
This is what I noticed. It's bonds, not treasuries. I don't think they have a treasury option in mine. It's just the short-term reserve account here.
Yeah. You might have a bank, because I know in our Virginia one, we have a bond fund, and then there's an actual bank, like a savings account, which is probably the ideal thing, because you're not going to have like volatility in price like a bond would.
So I thought I didn't tell you this. This is a funny one. So here's VT basically, right? 60% US, 40% total world. Look what they call it. Aggressive growth. So Chris,
well, here's the thing.
You are an aggressive growth investor all this time. I just want to let you know that.
Here's the thing. I always thought aggressive was 100% stock. But apparently the goalpost has kept moving to where aggressive is like tech stocks now, or small caps, or some crazy crap. But like from a planning standpoint, 100% stocks, even something like VT, is more on the aggressive side of the scale. Because stocks all the time.
I've never owned bonds. I haven't owned any of that stuff. I've been 100% stocks forever. So for me to think of it as an aggressive approach to investing, I've never felt that way. But I see your point, because like I have the full risk of the market, volatility.
I mean, obviously, individual stocks, like if you're buying like this high growth tech stock, like that's obviously more aggressive than VT. But from like a holistic, like total life investing standpoint, 100% VT is aggressive when you compare it to like 40% VT and 60% bonds or something like that.
Yeah. So here you got the balance. This is just interesting input for people. Like it's good to know this stuff, what the markets consider these different portfolios for yourself. Conservative, 25% stock, 75% bonds. Like I wouldn't even call this conservative to me. I'm like, that's beyond conservative in my head to call something like that. And then growth that's probably about what I figured growth would be. 75% stocks, bonds, 50-50 is moderate. And then the only one I would say stay away from is the value options, people. I don't know what you think. Any portfolio that says value, I think just historically is trash.
I mean, I think anything that's not like, you should have everything, or as much as possible. You shouldn't have, I'm just going to buy growth, or like Dave Ramsey, or I'm just going to buy value. You should have
just
it
buy
all.
all of it.
Right? Yeah, you want the growth stocks, and you want the freaking Exxon Mobil's, and you want everything.
Mm-hmm. So you heard it here, people. So the target date enrollments, good option. I think this is new. I think this year just came out. So I'm like, makes sense actually.
Yeah,
then I mean, you never have to do like I've changed. So I had a growth, which was all U.S. stocks. So now my new next few years, I was just going to do the 100% like the VT one, and then probably switch to a target date like a few more years out from when they go. But
yeah, because your kids are a little bit older. Mine are like super young. So I mean, I'm be comfortable being 100% stock, but when they're like 10, 11, I'm going to start probably aggressively transitioning over to, savings account, short-term bonds, and then eventually probably be close to 100% that when they actually start school, because you don't want to lose all their tuition on a bear market on their,
I know. Yeah. I don't really, yeah. I hadn't really thought, well, I guess when they get a little older, because they're 8, 9, my kids. So
yeah, you still got plenty of time, but I got like almost 2 decades.
So remember this guy that hated your VT?
Yeah.
Nicholas, he likes did you see what he liked? Or you weren't on here, but he likes a bunch of degen dividend investments. So BST is a closed fund BlackRock tech fund that pays a high yield, but it's freaking wild. He also really likes QYLD, just to let you know, and XYLT. He hates VT.
Dude, I need to get on like everybody thinks they're geniuses because they're like, well, I can tell you why VT underperformed. It's because it has international. And it's like, oh really? You don't think we don't know that, clown? But that's not the point. And then it's like, I don't know how they qualify these people to go on to write these articles. Like, I'm tempted to write an article for Seeking Alpha.
That'd
It
be
sounds
really funny. Just write something and see if it gets through.
yeah, I might write something completely degen and see if they publish it.
Well, now someone told, so now when they do a stock video or a stock article, if they put a buy or sell alert, there's a little chart on the right side, and it'll tell you historically where the price has been when they've been say buy or sell a stock. So someone was telling me now they're all putting hold because they don't want their track record on the articles for Seeking Alpha. So
Hey, you can put my track record on there. I don't give a crap. Buy VT. Oh, it went down this year. Okay.
yeah, that guy is interesting. So this is this year. I don't know. I'm sure you're up to you're following the international markets, right? Of course. So
Well, honestly, like I'm really I just look at VT. Like I don't separately look at US versus international. Like sometimes I'll do it just for like a laugh or something. Like if international was good one day. But I really just watch VT itself. So
yeah, Spain, Italy, France seem like they're doing okay. I don't know what this country is. BIS 1000. So, Poland. I knew Poland's doing well this year. Really well.
I think hasn't Greece been doing well?
Denmark's doing well. Denmark is literally Novo Nordisk. This gain. It's literally like there's like the top 50 companies in Denmark. Novo Nordisk is like 70% of the market cap of the whole index. It's fucking crazy. Like the one company. Here's Greece. Yeah, right here. 37%.
Crazy because Greece's like demographics are horrible. Their government debt is horrible.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't have a good year or two,
No, totally. Yeah, who's buying that debt or whatever? A lot of European countries are red. I thought Europe was doing really shit this year, so it kind of surprised me looking at some of the indexes. So,
yeah, I haven't looked at this specific index. I remember hearing about Greece.
We know Japan. That was kind of like that's the one that got you really. This was your best one. So
I just thought it was hilarious because I had that debate with Kingdom and he was like, "Oh, the demographics, bro," and then I'm like, "Well, Japan's demographics are god awful, and their stock market's on a rip this year."
Yeah, I gave him like half a present. I was trying to see what he would do with it, so I gave him. I mean, he didn't do any prep. If I hadn't given him some of those spreadsheets, you would have murdered him even more. I gave him whatever little he had.
Dude, I did no prep. I just showed up shirtless.
Well, I was trying to direct him. The one I would have had him argue maybe, I don't know. I haven't even thought about it, but like to say the countries you were higher allocated in VT are not the countries, in global index you'd want to be allocated. I don't know. I never thought it through all the way. That was his debate he wanted, but
he probably doesn't even know what allocated into. He probably thinks it's like all China or something. It's like
Yeah, I would have just like the emerging markets that you would think would be the big growers for you are so small allocation in VT that it wouldn't make a difference. But then we just look at this year. A lot of countries did really well for in Europe and in Asia too, actually. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Not much to really debate there at this point. It's the
and
only total world index I could find, which is just so like I looked and there's nothing else that has every stock. MSCI has global indexes, but they're like 3,000 stocks. So they like, I don't know, they pick like like a third of the stocks in the world. They have one that's like a large cap, mid cap. Then they have one that picks from all, everything, but nothing has all the stocks in the world. So.
yeah, I just think most people probably don't want a global market cap weighted index. Like it's kind of I don't think it's a super popular thing. People want to tinker a little.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why there's only one.
So this was interesting. What was the other thing we were talking about? Oh yeah, bond. I was just figuring because interest rates are up. So, or we can go to the question next. Actually, curious what you thought.
The question.
Give me a second. I'm a clown. I thought I pulled it up. Fuck it. Okay. This is high production, people.
It's better than mine.
It's so like people make fun of it's hard. Like I have like 4 screens and all these tabs open. Like, give me a break. Like, it's hard to run this production show. So this guy asked, I thought it was good. He said, so staying invested is important. What do you take into consideration when deciding how much cash position should you be in? And then you talk about emergency fund and whatever. That was an interesting question. Like, how much cash should you have?
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody says 3 to 6 months. I probably have, now that I think about it, probably 4 months of cash. There's a lot of factors that go into it. It's really, do you have any short-term goals? Like, let's say you want to put a down payment on a house in 2 years. Well, all the money going to save for that should probably be in cash.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have that cash, and then you should have your emergency savings on top of that for whatever amount you want for that. So any short-term goals in the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 years should be cash. Your emergency savings should be cash. And then that's basically it. So, I mean, when it comes to emergency savings, in my opinion, it really depends on the person. If you have a dual income family and you don't have any debt, and you have very solid jobs, okay, maybe you only need 3 months. But if you have one earner and your job's like seasonal and there's a lot of risk with your income, maybe you should have 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. It's really all relative to the person, but you should definitely have some emergency savings, like at least a month or two. Like, do not have $1,000 like Dave Ramsey says, or put it into a watch like Paul says, or put it on a credit card. And people are like, oh, well, you're going to lose it to inflation. It's like, yeah, okay. Who gives a shit? It's insurance. Because the one time that you need it and you don't have it, you're going to have to sell stocks at a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to lose way more that way. So I have something. That's all I'll say about that. And it really depends on your circumstances.
I know. It's like, you just want to answer, well, it depends, but then it's, well, that's a shitty answer. It's like, well, like I have a government job. I'm not going anywhere. My wife's a nurse. She's always going to be able to work. So I don't even have what I'd call, it's just it's a savings account on the side. I put money in every month, but then I do have an emergency house account for like when my fridge blew out or my furnace needed a $1,500 part last week. So I have like house / kid emergency account, I guess you'd call it. But like you said, like my situation, I'm not concerned about losing. I mean, even if she lost her job, she'd get another job pretty quickly. So
you
I'm
don't
not
need
at risk for loss of income like but if you are, maybe you work for Amazon, you should probably have more money saved if you work for Amazon than I need.
Yeah,
you're at more risk of losing it.
I should probably have more than you because I'm the only earner in the family, and I don't have a government job. Now, I don't think I'm going to get fired, but you never know. And if I get fired, we're in trouble. Like, I got to get a job quick. And if I can't, we're going to really burn through cash.
Mm-hmm.
So It depends on the family.
So our answer is it depends, Crayon Master. Good name. I like your name. What was the other thing? Yeah, so I thought this was an interesting chart talking about because I talked to Cole about this before. I'm like, where did the 60-40 shit come from? Because I didn't literally I didn't even know that existed as a thing, saying 60-40 portfolio. I'm like, who's saying that? So like this is a hypothetical returns of various portfolios that are stocks and bonds over long periods of time. So we're going, from 26 to 2019. But you can see, like, unsurprisingly, the 100% stock portfolio did on average better than any sort of split between bonds and stocks. I can't say I'm really surprised. I mean, it's not leaps and bounds better, but historically, I don't see why you need exposure to bonds. I've never felt that way.
The only thing
This
the
isn't
only
new
time
to me, this chart. So
pocket gains, which is like I'm 55, 50, 55, and I know I'm going to need money in 5 or 6 years. Yeah, that's going to be in bonds. But I'm 34. Like, I'm not selling my crap for 30 years. I'm not buying any bonds. It's way too early.
What's kind of cool about this chart, you can see on the left, the yellow is like the worst years of the allocation. If it was this in that almost 100 years, how bad the worst year was. So you can see if you had more bonds, you would have less worse year exposure, I guess you would call it, as you go up. But again, it's like long periods of time. If you got 30-40 years, I don't really see the need to have any bond exposure. But at the same time, we're both okay with people doing target date funds that have bonds in them. And someone asked in the Discord, they're like, well, that's not efficient to have one of those funds. It's like, but it gets you to the finish line. So I think they're still fine. Like,
well, it's not ideal, but what it does do is it makes you start to transition to bonds at a certain point, because a lot of people, I think when they hit retirement, they're still 100% stocks.
Oh yeah.
Which is not good. So
just listen to Jim Cramer's show. The people that call Cramer are a bunch of degen elderly people, dude. Like, it's fucking hilarious. They're like, should I buy AMC? What about that Palantir? And they're worse than the 20-year-olds, the people that call his show. And it's like, yeah, they're those people probably
why?
use it.
It's probably because they have so much time on their hands. They probably watch all that BS all day. They're probably just sitting in their nursing homes surfing the web because they're bored.
What do you think of these high-tech NVIDIA chips, Jim? Should I buy? It's like, who the fuck is some 90-year-old grandma? But, it kills me. I don't know. Like, I keep saying, when I'm 50, I'll change. I mean, yeah, I'm not bonds anywhere. I mean, my 401k or my 401k equivalent looks like VT basically. Except I don't have bond. Yeah, I have no bond exposure. It's like 50% US, S&P 500, 20% mid cap, and then international's 30%, I think. But I think about it every year because I'll look at the target date fund every year and just see what it looks like for 2045. But I don't really make much changes.
Yeah, the only bonds I have, so like many years ago, I bought a target retirement fund in Vanguard, which was probably not a good decision because it's in a taxable account. And it's just sat there. I've had that since 2014. And that's only like 10% bonds. So that's literally the only bonds I have in my entire freaking portfolio. Everything else is basically 100% stock because like I said, I'm not selling for 30 years. I don't care. Like, I don't need the money anytime soon.
People saying we should buy muni bonds. There you go.
Munis are garbage. Here's why. Number one, it needs to be your state, usually. Like, I would have to buy a Virginia muni bond in order to, not be taxed by Virginia, which is like 5.75%. And then it's like, well, the expense ratio of those funds are super high because they're niche. Like a Virginia Muni ETF, I've seen those. I've done taxes for people in Virginia, and I've seen the expense ratios, and they're stupidly high. Like, not worth it. Just put it in an IRA. Like, it's.
I know.
Put it in a 401k. There's so much money you can put into those accounts. Why do you need munis in a taxable account? You don't.
No. I always say my first bond, I want to buy a Microsoft bond. I'll call that a token or a legacy purchase. Fabio would call it.
I wonder what they're using.
The ones I saw on the used market like a few months ago were like 4.5. So I don't know what they are at now, but they were used ones. But you had to buy them in $100,000 increments. I'm like, fuck, man. But
You should do it.
I do. I just want to own. I would love to just be, yeah, man. I own a Microsoft bond.
Man.
I'm that type of rich.
Good Lord.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll buy treasuries ever. I really don't want to give the government more in my taxes. I don't know.
Oh, that's the only thing I'm buying probably.
No.
I'm probably going to put most of I'll probably be 60 or 70% VT in retirement and 30 or 40%, mostly probably short-term treasuries. That's all I'm going to be doing.
I got 10 years to think about it. I'll start rolling on that when I'm 50, I think.
Yeah, corporate bonds just kind of scare me sometimes because, like, you know, if the economy goes bad, corporations can go out of business.
Yeah,
they can.
Did you know Ross Gerber was buying AMC debt during like 2021, 22?
Oh my God.
He was bragging about getting 9% yield on that stuff. It's like, oh, I wonder why you're getting 9%, dude. Why ever would you get that?
I bet you if you buy it now, you'll probably get like a 80% yield. Yeah.
They just write numbers on it with crayon. They don't care. Whatever they can do to get money from you.
So. I mean, well, the bonds probably sold off so much that the yield's probably insanely high, but there's a reason the yield's high.
Yeah.
It's because AMC is massively underwater with debt.
I thought this was kind of cool. Historical returns of all the different assets. So it's funny though, because you can look like recent history. It's like the stock market, just not even close. You'd probably have a hard time reading it, but
oh yeah, I can't see that.
But like, it's amazing. Like the last 20 years, the S&P 500 is just obliterated every other asset that you could own because these are all the other assets, and it's like S&P is like 28% years, while the other ones are like 1% on gold and T-bills and stuff. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I guess that would be one reason to get a target date fund, is that you believe the other assets will maybe bring back some value, I guess.
Well, it's not even for the value. Like, the only reason bonds are there is for like stability and to lock in gains. That's the only reason I will even consider buying bonds. That's it. I mean, stocks are really where, you know, I think earnings will continue to grow in the future, and I think stock prices will go up eventually in the long run. That's why I buy them. Gold is a shiny rock. Crypto is a scam. Treasuries are tax inefficient, and yields can go down low. I just think stocks are the way to go long run.
Yeah. So you would say if someone had you'd say just target date or an equivalent to VT in 401k, 403b, you'd have to make it.
Yeah,
then, obviously,
and just be careful with target date, because some of them are like some target dates are stupid. Like, yeah, I like the target dates, but there are some target that 20.
Oh yeah, you cut out for a second, but
yeah, I was saying, like, there's some target dates are just bad. Like, they're ultra complicated.
Some of them, like, I look like you can find one that's like a 0.8, and then you'd find another that's like 0.08. So they could be 10 times more expensive fees.
Yeah,
not really sure why.
I considered buying a target date in my new 401k, but the expense ratio was higher, and it had a bunch of like random like real estate investment trusts, and I'm like, what is this? So I just put it in S&P and international, just kept it simple.
Yeah. They're interesting though. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on these yet. I get it. I don't want bond exposure yet. I guess as I get closer to 50, I'm going to think, I don't know.
You can always buy further out. Like, what you're looking, is that a 2065?
Yeah, this is 65.
Yeah, it's like what, 5% bonds? Like, it's almost irrelevant. So if you want to be more aggressive, you could buy one like that, so you're more heavily into stocks up till retirement. That's an option too.
This is 2045, so it's just interesting. I I think these are the best for people that like most people I know that ask me advice. They don't know shit about anything about investing at all. They just want to put money somewhere for retirement. And I'm like, I can't even tell them to even tell them like an S&P and an international is too much for them. So I'm like, I have to like say a US market or of target date. Like anything beyond that is too complicated for them. So
the simpler, the better. Like when my parents asked me, I was like, yeah, just do the thrift savings plan L fund that matches your retirement date. That's it.
Yeah. So for people watching, it's not the most efficient allocations, but it's not what they're for, I guess you could say. The target date funds. Like
people just like they make it too complicated. It's like just pick something and just stick with it.
That's
like don't be too heavy into bonds. Maybe if you like US only, great. But just like pick something and freaking stick with it and stop thinking about it. Go focus on making more money instead of, oh, well, maybe I should have 95% this. And it's like, stop thinking about the details. Just buy something and make as much money as possible. Mm-hmm. That's all you do. It's really that easy.
I don't really overthink some of them. Like, people question me like, why do you own Tractor Supply? I'm like, if it goes down, like, oh, do you sell it? I'm like, I told you I'm holding it forever. Like, I think the company's got a great future. Oh, it went down 4%. Oh shit, I better bail on it. Like, come on. Like, I don't even know what it's fucking at right now. I don't care. Like,
the only stock I would buy like that would be Walmart. But most other stocks, like I just it makes me feel weird when I have individual stocks. I'm just not used to it, and there's so much risk involved with individual stocks that I always.
So I had like 40 during COVID, but I've pared down to like 16. Besides like indexes and ETFs, so I don't know. I don't know if it would take a lot to add another company. Honestly, I'd probably be more apt to sell something, but.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to max my tax advantage accounts. Like they raised the IRA to like $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
I think new contribution amount. So like if you have you and your wife, that's $14,000 you got to do. Then you have 401k, which I think is, I don't even know the new amount, but it's
like 23, isn't it now? Jesus.
Yeah. So if you and your spouse both have 401ks, well, dang, that's another $45,000 you should focus on.
I mean, honestly, like I max the IRA and then I do I think we do 6% for our retirement. And I never get even close to the max on it. Like you try, but
yeah,
it's freaking hard.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Like I'm all tax advantage accounts. And like it's just harder for me now to make enough money to where I can max those and buy individual stocks.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, I'm slowly converting. So, I don't know. Like like I've said, like I'd be a different person if I knew about ETFs and stuff in 2010. So,
it's just in my blood, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
there's been so many years of doing it that it's like I don't even think about it. Like, yeah, ETF, mutual fund. And honestly, I would have ETFs until 2020. Before that, I just had the mutual funds.
Mm-hmm. Hey, didn't you hear Mo say mutual funds are higher expense ratio? That's what Mo told us.
I mean, a mutual fund is just
it's like
where you pull your money together. It can be an active or passive. Like it's not complicated.
Oh, okay.
But whatever.
So I guess the last do you want to explain how effed Kevin is about the jet? Or
yes. So
only a CPA can explain that. I don't want to explain it.
So basically, there's a rule where you can write off or deduct the entire cost of an asset you place into service. And it was called the bonus depreciation. So let's say you buy a jet in 2022 and you place it into service. You can literally write off the entire jet and deduct it against your business income to determine your profit and loss. So you're getting a huge tax deduction. Now that bonus depreciation is starting to phase out. So I think it's like 80% this year, 60, 40, 20. Eventually it's going to phase out unless Congress changes.
I got a chart here.
Yeah. So that has more. But Kevin did it when in 2022, I believe, where it was 100% still. So he got the write-off, which is great. But when if you sell the jet, the IRS has this thing called depreciation recapture, which means any gain that you get from depreciation, because you calculate your gain by the sales price minus your cost basis, which if you write off the whole airplane, your cost basis is zero. So if he sells it for $10 million, he's got a $10 million gain. And all of that, the portion of that gain that is attributable to depreciation, it's not a long-term capital gain. Like let's say he sells a jet in 3 years, it's taxed at ordinary or higher income rates. So if he sells a jet, he's going to get a massive amount of income and tax liability from selling the jet. So you got to be careful when you have a business asset, when you buy it and then sell it, because it can get complicated. And that's going to happen to Kevin.
Oh my God. He didn't have stock gains, that's for sure. So he must have had income from like YouTube and course sales that he was offsetting. Because he lost loads of money on Tesla. We know that. So
yeah, the course sales in YouTube are the only thing that he's making money off of. Everything else is just a money furnace.
So when he said like today, I think he said today that he got a free jet. Like didn't he say that or some shit? So he didn't. He just all he did was defer his tax obligation on the jet, right? That's all he did.
Yeah, I mean, let's say you get if you buy the jet and you write it all off. Let's say the jet's $10 million and you deduct $10 million of expenses. Well, you're only saving your tax rate on that.
Mm-hmm. It's
not the whole $10 million. It's only the portion of that. Let's say 33% or 37%. So yeah, you'll save a couple $1 million, but you're still buying the jet. You're still spending $10 million plus interest, but you saved a couple million in taxes. So you did not get a free jet. A free jet is
jets and yachts. You pay what 10% per year in upkeep, which I think that's what he said. He said basically 10%.
Yeah, if you did a cash flow analysis, there's cash going out for principal and interest payments and maintenance and repairs and all that, taxes. Like, go look at that video. Oh my God, there were so many expenses. That's cash going in. The only cash coming in is probably a couple, and it's not even cash coming in necessarily. It's just a couple million of tax savings. So he's still sinking millions of dollars of cash into this jet. Like, it's total BS what he's talking about. It's bullshit.
He could have just done one of those leasing companies. Badget, was it that on where you just rent a jet, right? You pay per hour. Unbelievable.
Oh, I've never tried to rent a jet. But yeah, there's so many you can charter jets. Like, it's stupid. It's gonna sink him. Like, the amount of money he's dumping into that jet.
Mm-hmm. Like you say, he can't even get out of it now. If he didn't do the special depreciate, he could have at least waved.
Well, but he could get out of it. It would probably still be advantageous. It's like, just take the tax hit, but you don't have to pay all the freaking expenses anymore.
No, he won't admit it. He'll burn. He'll go to he'll like Paul. He's going to go down with the ship, right?
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, just take the tax hit. Whatever.
I was like, I wouldn't trade places with him for anything. Like, I live such a carefree life. I'm going to retire when I'm 55. I mean, I'm going to do pretty well when I'm retired. I'll be living on a beach somewhere. So I wouldn't trade anything to be like him. Like that. I can't. God. When he told like Echoes, he was so riddled with anxiety, he drinks every day, and he like thought he had throat cancer. I'm like, what are you doing with your? Who cares how much money you have if that's how you live? Like,
why can't you just have money and then just be smart with it? Like, it seems like that's such a hard combination.
I know. It's not that hard, people. It's really not. Like, just buy things that appreciate. That's what I probably keep saying at this point. Don't buy a yield max shit. Don't buy clown stocks. Like, buy things that appreciate, like, that make money. And
I'm telling you, give me Kevin's money and I will be coasting. You get a year of his income and I would be retired. Easy.
Oh my God. It'd be too easy. So anyways, that's all the topics I have. You have anything you want to tell me about? How's my channel doing? Am I killing?
No, I mean your channel's doing good, man. Like I remember like you had a couple hundred subs, and then I looked a couple weeks ago and you had like 2,000. I was like, holy crap!
I didn't know. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even notice. Yeah, I'm the worst. I don't pay attention to anything. So.
I mean, well, apparently you're very subscribable because I mean you've had some like decent videos, but you haven't had like 100,000 viral video, but you still had a couple thousand subs, which is pretty impressive. So you might surprise yourself. You might actually like grow bigger than all of us if you keep it up.
I mean, like I know it gets like this is the problem. Like it gets views, right? I just don't want to make those videos. Like,
oh, I know. Trust me, I know exactly.
People don't get like I like I get it more now. Like you guys don't understand the temptation that like Chris could have made certain videos fucking just exploded. Like it's like selling your soul to the algorithm. I don't know how else to say it.
Bro, when I did those Griffman videos, Palantir, I got like insane views. And there were shitty productions too. It's just me in my car. Oh, Palantir's going to the moon. And I get 5 grand views, 6 grand views. It's like this is so easy. It's so easy to be a scammer.
But like I did the book reviews. I know they're not going to get views, but I want to do them. So I'll fucking do it.
Well, I mean, you might be surprised. Like the most insane videos that you would never imagine will do well will do well. So you never know.
Yeah. But like if I'm going to review an ETF, it's something I'm interested in. I'm not just going to take some clown thing up and promote it. Like I'll feel so disgusting, but I don't know.
I like to clown ETFs because it's fun to me. It's like the most obvious stupid ETFs. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do a video on that.
Well, I'm gonna go at Yield Max because I'm pissed off. I heard the guy that ran it. He got interviewed by some YouTube guy, and he's a fucking idiot. So I'm like, I'm declaring war on Yield Max. I swear. And there's so many new YouTube channels of like 200, 400 subscribers. They're like a year old, and they put like 6,000 shares of Tesla into their portfolio, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm like, you're going to lose your money. It's math. I don't know how to tell them. It is math. Like these synthetic call strategies, you will lose money over time. Like
it's just dudes gambling with options. That's all these ETFs are.
It's the exact same thing that growth investors do, right? They get like degenerate on growth stocks, and then there's degenerate, option yield chasing. So it's all the same. It's all the same, really. It's people trying to take shortcuts, right? Like
they want to like retire now or get rich quick. It's always the core motivation.
Like some people like, why do you own McDonald's stock? I'm like, well, I've had it for 20 years. My yield on cost is like over 15%. So what am I going to sell it for fucking Jeppy? Like, do you understand the time value of this stuff? Buy things that grow over time, not things that Tesla's first monthly dividend was like 90 cents. Now it's down to 50 cents. So in 1 year, it's already been cut in fucking half. And then there's people that are going to call me an asshole that doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, it's just going to die.
You got to embrace hate, Dan. You got to embrace it. Okay.
I don't block. I've only blocked Kid Freshie. That was the only guy I blocked because.
So if you do this long enough, you'll feel the pain because it eventually becomes a tidal wave, and then you never get thanks. Like you call out AMC or something, and you're 100% correct, and then all the guys that talk disappear.
I guess you just have to believe you help the lurkers, right? The lurkers that never say anything. I don't know.
You have, but it's the hate is much more common than the love.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I was kind of pissed I didn't like VT at first, but you're like the first Boglehead I know. So
I'm a fake Boglehead. I have international stocks.
I thought at first, the first time you said you're Boglehead and you had VT, I then Googled Jack Bogle. I literally don't know anything about Bogleheads like a while ago. And I'm like, all I got was videos saying buy US index. I'm like, you're a fraud. So I'm like, but then you were like, well, there's like 2 different versions of Bogleheads. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I always say it's the logical conclusion of the philosophy. Like, if there was a galaxy, you'd have a total galaxy ETF. Like, that's just how it happens. Like, I don't know what else is. I mean, like, if you look at like the more modern, like if you go to their website, they have the 3 fund portfolio, which is international, US, and bonds. And a huge proportion of them have VT. It's not like this outside weird thing that only I do. It's pretty common in the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, for a day trading ETF, it's fine. I was kind of like, I thought he was holding his own during the debate until he said that. And then I'm like, oh, God.
I was like, I felt good. I was like, yes, I just won this.
Oh, my God. And like, I like SCHD. Like, I don't think it's people are buying like their whole portfolio SCHD. I'm like, you definitely should not do that. But I don't know.
Yeah. I to me, it was just like, oh, it's like a fad, and all these dudes are going to go all in, and then it's going to underperform, and they're all going to bail out. And that's exactly what's happening. Like, ever since that debate, VT has crushed Shada. And it's just hilarious to me because it's like, now that it's not done well, everybody wants to sell it.
Dude, on Dividend Reddit, you see those posts and you're like, should I sell SCHD for QQQ? It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? The fuck are you doing?
That's
You're trading one set of 100 stocks for another basket of 100 stocks.
Yes, that's what people that's all they do. They buy stuff that goes up a lot. That's all they freaking do. And it's like, you can't do that. That's why you should buy one thing and stick to it.
Because I bought like SCHD and G. I did a comparison to like the Dow Jones 750. So I saw, okay, what did they not have in it? And I did an index of the stocks they didn't have. And the index of the ones they didn't have sucked. So I'm like, oh, I might outperform a little bit. But that's why I have it in my Roth. But I have S&P 500 in my other account. So that's what I did. He missed that part, though. I kept saying it's not just SCHD. Like, there's another piece just because I wanted to do it. Fuck it. But
yeah, I mean, I like the S&P 500. I have that in my 401k, and I mean, it's in VT. And to me, it's just simpler than having like multiple ETFs that kind of approximate the same thing.
No, but yeah, for the vast majority of people, like the 90%, 95% of people, yeah, you can't like they have no interest in anything. You give them one thing to buy. That's what I found.
Simple's the best. Even me, a sophisticated man like me, even I just have VT because it's like, anybody can make one mistake, and if you do, it can really hurt you. And that's why it's by buying one thing that's hugely diversified for your whole life, you're probably going to end up okay.
Rich says you look like you're ready for the WWE. Dex, did you misspell Boglehead? Is there 1-0 in Boglehead?
There's 1-0.
Dex disappointed.
Booglehead.
I like Dex, but come on, dude.
Oh
wait, this guy too. What the hell is wrong with you people? There we go. One guy got it. 1-0. Okay, we're good. But he said Bogle is the worst. Okay. Well, he was richer than you but he's dead though. So Dan, I'm a stuck. So did you know? Okay, last thing. Somebody's like, Jeppy's awesome, man. When I made fun of Yield Max, I'm like, I'm not talking about Jeppy, but technically during the regional bank crisis, Jeppy had equity linked notes from Credit Suisse right at the worst time. So like I was trying to explain, like there are risks to Jeppy just because it's ELNs, which people don't know what the fuck they are. They pretend they do.
They're complicated.
Like, I went to look. Yeah. So I go look at what actual ELNs Jeppy owns. Literally right when Credit Suisse was about to close their doors, Jeppy had a shitload of ELNs with them. That's the risk of Jeppy. Third party risk, which the other like covered call ETFs don't have that risk per se. That's a big risk. Like you could just have a bank fail because the banks that they're dealing with are, I think, pretty degenerate, honestly, some of them that Jeppy's using to give them these ELNs. They're using like German banks that I've never heard of in Credit Suisse. So there's a reason Jeppy gives you 9%, people. Like, and the S&P gives you like 1.5 or something. You're taking on additional risk to get that premium.
Well, Jeppy's better.
Just use your freaking brain. I can't help these people. Oh, they won't believe you till it happens. And then they'll say you never saw it coming, or who would have saw it coming, because they'll pretend that you never said anything before.
I mean, that would be an epic. I would make so many roast videos if Jeppy went under. it'd be a bloodbath.
Like it could work, but it's like, okay, just do broadly diversified indexes till you get to retirement. And then you'll have like 20, 30 years of JEPI existing to see if it actually fucking works. Not 1 year or 2 years, whatever it is.
I mean, if you're going to do a strategy like that, you definitely want to have like a ton of ETFs. Like I can see being more complicated if you have that kind of strategy, because you don't want to put all of your money in one of those ETFs.
No.
Like that's way too much risk. That's your retirement money.
Yeah, you might maybe you put aside enough in JEPI just to pay like your rent on your apartment in retirement. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, like,
see.
10% JEPI, 10% this, whatever. But
we'll see what it does. I don't know. Maybe it won't be in like these fucking things.
Maybe it'll outperform everything.
God, it kills me. And they call it dividends. I'm like, well, it's distributions mostly. So you get taxed to hell on it. Whatever.
Taxes don't matter.
No. So I'm not gonna attack JEPI anymore. I did before. Whatever. Well, not for now. Kathy Wood thinks Zoom is going to 2000. Oh, yeah, she thinks everything. So the only way Kathy Wood, I don't know why people think she's going to reform her ways. The only way Kathy Wood can survive with ARK is she has to keep promising you outperformance returns. Otherwise, you can just look at the charts to see she's underperforming what she promised you. So she has to keep offering these like 69%, CAGRs on stocks she owns.
Now she wants to I think she wants a crypto ETF so she can grift off that too. Charge an expense ratio.
Oh God, crypto. Well, you got material. If crypto ETFs come, you got material there. So.
Oh, I do.
It's coming.
You too, dude. Always.
But you can always just do a week or two of accounting videos and then rotate back to clownery. So
yeah, I just whatever I feel like doing, I just do it. Like I'm definitely on a make fun of Jeremy and Kevin kick right now, but
okay. So you put
once there's like again, I'll probably shift to that.
I'm in a weird. It's funny you mentioned so I like Ryan Williams. I'm not gonna lie, but he did at the same time interview Jeremy Lefebvre, and I saw your video today talking about finance junkies. So it's like it puts you in. It's a weird spot to be in. I don't know. Like all these guys eventually play ball with him, right? It seems. So I don't know.
Oh, it shows you who the clowns are.
Yeah. Like, do I want to take finance? Like, I like to watch Ryan's live streams. I like to watch his journey, let's say. Like, same thing for Joseph Carlson. But I don't think it's wrong to get exposed to people you don't agree with. It's a good idea, probably. Listen to people that don't exactly, do what you do in investing. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like Ryan's not like the worst. I mean, he's highly produced. He talks about a bunch of different stuff. I mean, if you want to watch him, it's not a big deal, but you just have to understand what his motivations are.
Yes.
That you got to.
He's a YouTuber first, which yeah. He's first, and he said that he's a YouTuber. He likes to make content, and then he's a finance dividend YouTuber. So that's where their loyalty. I get that. I don't know. That's why the whole interviewing people is tough, because you don't know. You interview someone and you don't know who they're going to interview next, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I've interviewed people that my whole audience just rioted.
Oh yeah,
you got to be careful.
The trading guy, right? I remember that.
Yeah, that. I mean, luckily he wasn't like a huge grifter guy, but yeah, you got to be.
Yeah, you interview him, and then what if he goes? Yeah, and then he could he interviews with somebody like Ape Father or some bullshit. And you're like, what the fuck?
If you interview with Ape Father, I'll just be like, okay, yeah, that guy's a clown. Like,
yeah, but I watch finance junkies because those guys think completely different than me, so I just want to hear it. I don't listen every time.
Stupid.
The Carlos guy, his projections of technology, I'm like, I think you're nuts, but I want to hear you tell me this. So, because I don't think the way he does, but holy shit.
Yeah, they're just massive clowns. They
regurgitate Elon talking points, and but they don't have any their independent thoughts, but they think they are thinking like themselves.
They're story investors. It's all the story, and then they just have a very inflated, positive, bullish perspective on the story. That's all that matters to them. They don't think about numbers. It's only the story. which can be dangerous.
Yeah. The story is part of, well, it's supposed to be part, not your whole goddamn thesis on a company, which.
Yeah, it's both. Like it's the numbers and the story. It's not just the story. Oh, it's the future, bro. That's story.
Oh, is that the Don Fran? Maybe that's his name.
Well, I mean, I would interview him again, but I would be very clear in the title that this is not a debate. I'm just curious. What do you like? How do you actually day trade for a living? I want to know, because people were expecting me to like tear his throat out or something, and that wasn't the intention of the video.
I don't get it. It's all drawing on.
I reaction. I was like, oh my god. I felt bad for him because I don't think he was expecting that either.
Well, he's like, I'm not showing you my proof, but I'm killing it. It's like,
yeah, I was like, oh, but
I don't know. I don't show my portfolio, but I'll talk about things I invest in. So call me clown or whatever.
I'm like, Jeremy, I made a mistake. Can you forgive me? And then everybody forgets.
Bankrupt. Oh God. Oh well, it's over an hour. Shouldn't keep you for.
Yeah, I got to go to bed soon because these freaking kids are gonna wake me up early.
Yep, got chores. So I think I don't see any questions. I think we cover everything. Well, if you wanna chat with either one of us, we're in Strongman's Discord and we're in Fabio's Discord. So
we're around.
We're everywhere. We see everything. Strongman sees more than me.
I see everybody and everything. Yeah. You're a scammer. I'll find you.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. 24 people. Damn. So everyone have a good night. We'll see you later.
Cheers.